Hello everyone, this is Bookworm Whisper, and today me and my mother-in-law went to the library she really loves those Harlequin romance novels, and she gets them for 25 cents at the library, so I went with her today. It is such a beautiful day outside. Oh my goodness. It's sunny and blue skies and wind. Have y'all ever noticed, like, during the summer when it's really hot, there's absolutely no wind at all? I've never really noticed that, but I just did. Okay, the books range from 25 cents to $2. I try not to buy too many hardback books because I'm not really a hardback book fan. I don't know why, I just never really liked hardback books. But today, I had to buy a couple. I couldn't help it. But I'm going to start with the softback. Okay. Alright, I bought this one because I really like the cover. It's called A Night with Marilyn Monroe by Lucy Holiday. It looks very interesting. I've never heard about this book. And this is like a advanced readers edition. It says and this one was 50 cents. The hilarious and heartwarming follow-up to A Night with Audrey Hepburn. Perfect for a girls' night in. Oh man, so this is like a sequel. Dang it. It's okay. The last few months have been quite the whirlwind for Libby Lomax. Not only is she dating the hottest man on the planet, but the opportunity for a major career change arises, one that for the failed actress seems impossible to resist. Life is finally turning around for our usually unlucky leading lady, but Libby's optimism is short-lived when she realizes Dylan O'Hara, her leading man, is about as far from steady boyfriend material as she ever imagined. And then another uninvited guest, this time in the form of Hollywood icon Marilyn Monroe, suddenly appears on her ancient sofa. Poor Libby finds herself wanting to bite her own arm off just to return to normality. Thankfully, her best friend Ollie is still there to keep her feet on the ground. Libby doubts that Marilyn is really the right person to offer her relationship advice, but perhaps she should give her a chance before it's too late. So, I don't know. Even though it's a sequel, it sounds like it won't be that hard to get into. It's not like the Hunger Games, where you have to read the first book to know what's going on. So that is A Night with Marilyn Monroe. Okay. The second one I got is Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle. It's a New York Times bestseller, and it's also Oprah's book club selection. I'm really excited about this one because it's a memoir, and I love memoirs. A memoir of betrayal and self-discovery by best-selling author Glennon Doyle. Love Warrior is a gorgeous and inspiring account of how we are born to be warriors, strong, powerful, and brave, able to confront the pain and claim the love that exists for us all. This chronicle of a beautiful, brutal journey speaks to anyone who yearns for deeper, truer relationships and a more abundant, authentic life. This one sounds really, really good. As y'all know, I just finished the Hunger Games yesterday, and I'm on Catching Fire right now, so as soon as I finish that series again, I'll probably read this one next. It looks really, really good. Another thing that I do not buy is short books. Like, if I read a book, it has to be at least 200 pages or more. But I'm like OCD that way. Like, I can't, because I look at a book and I'm like, that book ain't going to take me that long to read. And then what am I going to do, Okay, hardback books next. This one is called Are You Lonesome Tonight? The Untold Story of Elvis Presley's One True Love and the Child He Never Knew. Look at handsome Elvis Presley. I love the sounds that these hardbacks make when you open them. It's not making it now that I want it to, but Lucy DeBarban and Desiree Presley. So this lady must have been before Priscilla Presley. Okay, let's look on the inside and see. Oh yes. On a cool night in Memphis, high on a grassy hilltop, Elvis Presley fell in love with a beautiful French teenager with sparkling green eyes, a melting smile, and a haunted existence. This love initiated a passionate romance, hidden from the world for 24 years. When they met in 1953, Lucy DeBarban was a troubled 16-year-old who begged God nightly to free her from a physically and psychologically tortured life. Elvis Presley was an 18-year-old dreamer filled with an intense desire that would fuel an unparalleled rise to fame, fortune, and eventually to a legendary status too heavy to bear. Their love was born of necessity, grew in secrecy, and was fraught with impossibilities. Yet for nearly a quarter of a century, it remained unbending. Elvis inspired Lucy to shake out the chains of despair and hopelessness and free herself from a brutal husband foisted upon her at age 11 by an old-world immigrant family. She repaid him by sacrificing herself and her love so he could initially achieve and then maintain the fame he cherished. She gave birth to his first child, but her desire to shield Elvis from scandal forced her to conceal their baby and to conceal the father from the child. The single legacy that Lucy allowed their daughter was her name Desiree. This was the endearment Elvis bestowed upon Lucy. The name he chose is the most romantic way to express his love. The cover's wanting to fall off. Hold on. Okay. I'm just going to read it down here. Though Lucy ran from Elvis to protect him, he always found her. They met secretly in parks by the banks of rivers and ponds and in hotel rooms across the country. They talked, they laughed, they cried, they made love, they prayed for a future together. When the roles were reversed and Elvis was emotionally crumbling, Lucy was there. Her love comforted him in the fog of his final years and provided an intermittent oasis that might have given Elvis the only peace he ever knew. but Lucy's scars never completely healed. Driven by her protective instincts and terrified by a past that can never be forgotten, she delayed in agreeing to the marriage Elvis had intently pursued from the beginning. Now after a decade, now after a decade of guilt and anguish, Lucy wants to tell her daughter the story she has never been able to voice, a heartbreaking recounting that reveals who Elvis Presley really was. Through Lucy's eyes, we learn his deepest longings, experience his greatest victories and painful disappointments, and finally understand why he was so lonely, unhappy, and empty. Wow. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. Wow. Wow. Okay. I will put this one down in kind of the same type of topic. Not the same people, though. This is called Gracie, a love story by George Burns. Apparently, George Burns and Gracie Allen were like a comedy duo back in the day, way before I was born. But I loved that type of oldies, you know, like I Love Lucy. I love Lucy. This one looks really interesting. There's George Burns. This says, Grace Allen, of course, is told with love and humor by George Burns. For 40 years, my act consisted of one joke, and then she died. Her name was Gracie Allen, but she was on a first-name basis with America. There was only one Gracie, and this is the story of her life, as told by the only person who could, George Burns. Gracie brings to life the charming woman who was smart enough to become the dumbest woman in show business history. On stage, she was lovable, confusing Gracie, who believed horses must be deaf because she saw so few of them at concerts, and who decided to cut her vacuum cleaner cord in half so she could save on electricity. Gracie, who pleaded with audiences, if I say the right thing, please forgive me. Off stage, she was a devoted wife, the loving mother of 2 adopted children, and throughout her career in vaudeville, radio, television, and the movies, she managed to hide the fact that her left arm had been horribly scarred in a childhood accident, and that she suffered from crippling migraine headaches. Off stage, George explained she was nothing like the dizzy character she played, except maybe for the first time she parked up into a parked car and managed to convince the driver of the car that he'd hit her. George Burns has written 5 previous bestsellers, but Gracie is a story he has never told before. It's the story of a woman who made America laugh for 40 years and who selected the sickest child in the orphanage as her own. It is the story of the woman who ran for president in 1940 on the surprise party ticket, garnering 50,000 votes, but who could be as tough as any woman alive. Gracie is a story that would make readers laugh and cry. It is the story of a romance so strong it has endured almost 25 years after her death. I go to Forest Lawn Cemetery once a month to see her, George reveals, and I tell her everything that's going on. I told her I was writing this book about her. Evidently, she approves. She didn't say anything. I don't know if she hears me, but I do know that every time I talk to her, I feel better. Oh my God, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. So that is Gracie. Alright, you guys, that's my book haul for the day. And please let me know if you would like me to read any of these books in a future video. I would love to do that for you guys. And thank